I'm silencing my phone here. There we go.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Can I see the chat if I go to the how
Yep.
do I see? How do I do
So
that?
follow the YouTube link, and you will be able to pull up the stream on your phone as we are live. Welcome in, guys, to another episode. I think I saw it was 82. We got Caleb rocking some YouTube. You can hear. But
Sorry.
no, you're good, buddy. Only thing, just turn down the volume so I don't hear my feedback on your.
Yep, I just killed the volume and.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, we're good.
We can go live, or well, we already are live. Surprise! But welcome in, buddy, to another fun week of drifting. There's actually been some drifting news, so I will bring up a couple of those things that I saw. Obviously, you got Happy Kurtis over there on his couch, big old smile. And then we also got a guest here, Caleb Quanbeck. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Heck yeah. I still think I'm getting a little playback on your end. If there's a way to lower the volume, possibly, or if you got some headphones, maybe.
What about that?
That's better. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Can you still hear everybody?
I can hear you guys good if you can hear me.
Yep. Awesome.
Perfect.
All right, we'll keep her going then. All right, so tonight I wanted to kind of go over, like, you do drifting very differently than what the average person thinks it takes to be successful in drifting. If it's all right to call that you're successful in drifting, because I would consider that personally.
Thank you.
But it's a very different way than most people think. But to be honest, you've been at this for a while, so you want to give people a little behind the scenes, or not necessarily behind the scenes, just like a quick pitch on where you came from, like the BMX beginnings, to where you are now.
Yeah, I mean, it's been kind of a long road, but I'll try to keep it short.
Yeah.
I grew up in Portland, Oregon, and riding BMX, and one of my BMX buddies, a guy named Marcus Lyons, he kind of was making not a transition from BMX to drifting, but he was like our first friend that got a rear wheel drive car, and he got a 240, multiple 240s. This is back like when they were $500 with an SR or, a KAT or whatever. And he started he would do I don't even want to call it street drifting, because we had these big parking lots in industrial areas where this would go down. And I remember just kind of experiencing that for the first time and being like, oh, I want to do this. This is just like what we do on our bikes, but it's with a car. So he was kind of the first one, and he still drives today and is a phenomenal driver. And I had maybe been drifting, or not even drifting, but got my first 240 and started to learn how to do donuts and stuff for about a year. And then Travis Reeder got his first drift car. Speaking of Travis, there he is on the screen. Travis got his first drift car, and we kind of grew up, or at that time started drifting at the same time at these lots, these lots around the city that were, off the street, but definitely on private property. Not something I suggest now that there's so many great drift schools and open track days that you can attend. But that was what we had back then. And I was just at that time kind of transitioning into a professional BMX rider, actually traveling, having sponsors, and I moved to LA. And when I moved to LA, I kind of put drifting off to the side, and Travis went to Pro-Am, and we kind of,
Party
did our
ways,
thing. Yeah, and when I lived in LA for, I don't know, 2012 to 2016.
Yep.
And during that time, I got a couple different 240s and tried to tinker with them, but I realized so fast that my BMX salary was not going to pay for drifting.
Yep.
And I don't come from money, so there was no family to ask for support and go drifting. So I started a YouTube channel and thought, if I can work my butt off with YouTube, maybe it will pay for drifting or open up some doors.
Yeah.
And it did. It really did. But I relied so heavily on YouTube for my money. The minute that YouTube changed, or I really think it's when I started posting gun stuff, my YouTube money kind of just dried up.
Yeah.
And in that time frame, though, I moved to Florida. I built the S14. That's kind of what all of us kind of remember as the S14, and I was kind of a fish out of water. I knew that I wanted to just drift a car. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I had no real path. There wasn't I didn't want to go the Formula Drift route. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to freestyle, which is what we did in BMX.
Right.
I never rode in X Games as a professional BMX rider, but I got paid by companies and had signature products, and I was an athlete. And so I followed kind of in the footsteps of somebody like Hurt. Hurt was a personality who could drive a car. He could speak well. He carried himself well, like a professional. He was a professional at everything. And the drift car was kind of just a tool within all of that. So I kind of just wanted to follow that path. And that's what I was doing with YouTube, creating content for people to, follow along. And I always tried to show the things that, that maybe would be mundane to us or normal to us. To a lot of folks, it's insane. Like this right here is normal to me. But if anybody else walked in my house, I'd be like, "What in the hell do you have going on here?"
Right. Yeah.
Right. And it's the same thing with drifting. Like the servicing of the car that nobody thinks to show because it's just servicing the car after an event. I showed all that. I really wanted to bring people along. And with YouTube, it was really important to me that the person that you watch every day on YouTube is the same person when you see me at the racetrack. I never had a YouTube personality or like a shift in character for the camera to generate more views or appease to the algorithm. It was just, I've kind of got a potty mouth. I say a lot of bad words. I never shied away from that because I wanted to get more views or fit into some little box.
Right.
I was just myself. And back then it didn't really pay off. It wasn't great. I wasn't making a buttload of money and getting partnerships thrown at me. But I think now here we are. That was 2016, 2017, 2018. Here we are 7 or 8 years later, and I think it has paid off. I'm really proud of what I built by never growing. We all grow as people, right? Like I'm not the same person, but I never shifted my personality or my character for the means of more opportunity.
No,
more
and
views.
100%, and it's audiences will weed that out. They will weed out if you're not sincere. They will weed out if you're kind of putting on a face. Eventually, it comes out.
I disagree, dude, because everybody that's killing it and making millions of dollars on the internet, and you meet them in real life, it's very rare it's the same person. I find that and I know you've been around them too, and I'm not even just talking motorsport or automotive. I'm talking about I met one of my favorite gun YouTubers recently.
Yeah.
Somebody I watch religiously. And it was, one of those don't meet your heroes moments where, I still think the person makes phenomenal content, but I'm just like, wow, like this is not the person that I've grown so attached to and rooting for always. I'm always in their corner online, like we do. And they're making a lot of money off of this fake personality.
Interesting.
And maybe long term that bites them in the butt. But it doesn't matter because it's like how do you feel about it, right? Like I'm not a sociopath. It matters to me how people perceive me. I want them to have that. I want when people come to my race trailer at Grid Life and they come up to shake my hand that they're like, oh my God, he's nicer, he's nicer or more welcoming or or exactly like I thought he would be. Like, I
Yeah.
want that experience for people, because I remember being a young kid or just a fan of anything and being let down. And I just don't ever want to, I don't ever want somebody's experience with me to be that.
Yeah.
I want it to be, positive. I want it to be an experience.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
we want
Well,
this stuff. We want this stuff to grow and people to stay connected to it.
Yeah. I mean, some of the experiences I definitely have had are like, especially with some drivers, like they'll put on a certain face to add emotion and give a character to put in front of videos,
Yeah.
because like behind closed doors they're much more reserved, and that's just not going to get the views. That's just the
Yeah.
reality sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me has always been just being genuine about what you're saying. Like, if you believe it, just don't, like, if that's what you believe, then that's what you believe, and don't take it back halfway through once you find out people don't like what you said. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's
I
just
agree
like
with that.
it's just like, no, it's just what you believe, and not everyone needs to agree with you. That's life. Welcome to the welcome
The
to
real
the
world.
world, right? It's like,
Yeah.
for me, watching from afar a lot of your career and kind of seeing what you do, it's been very interesting to me, because you're a videographer too, and a
Yeah.
very, very good one.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
But
That happened by accident.
okay, I want to hear the story on this, because like,
Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you. And there is like a real story on how this happened.
yeah,
So I had a little bit of camera and editing experience with YouTube, right?
mm-hmm.
These vlogs that we make are very, they're basic. You're just cutting.
They're so
clips,
basic, yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? So I had Final Cut. I would film and edit or a vlog. I would chop it up, put some copyright-free music on it, and send it out to the world. That was about the extent of my abilities with post-production and camera work. When I moved to Kentucky in 2019 and I liquidated my whole race program, I had nothing, man. I felt weird, That's not myself. I didn't have anything really going on. There was no skate parks in Kentucky where I lived. All I had was shooting, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But I was a mechanic at a side-by-side shop in eastern Kentucky, and COVID hit, and I got laid off. And so I got my stimmy check, the stimmy money from the government, which was, I don't remember, $1,200 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but
It was
I got that
about-
stimulus money, and I knew shit was about to get. I knew shit was going to get tough. And in this little town that I lived in, there was a lot of businesses that were voicing their concern online on Facebook and stuff about how their retail stores couldn't be open and they didn't know how they were going to sell product. So I bought an A6400 Sony camera with a kit lens,
Mm-hmm.
and I started going around. I've always been kind of good at sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I just went around and sold this idea of helping them with some generating online sales, with content, because people are going to be consuming their phones and content more than ever now.
Yep.
I said, so let's start making some stuff. And so I did that, for the 2 years or whatever, when all that shit was going on. We didn't really have lockdowns or any of that stuff here in Kentucky, but
Yeah.
it was weird. And I would spend 12, 14 hours a day on YouTube just trying to learn everything I could, and just trying to find people that I liked their footage or the way they graded something or chopped something together, and just trying to find inspiration. And there's so many good camera, or I don't even know what you call it, like videographer creators on YouTube that talk about setups and exposure and lighting and
Dude,
post-production.
can you imagine going to school for videography?
No, I can't.
It's such a waste of time.
Dude, there's so much good stuff out there.
There is, yeah.
I made the switch to Black Magic when the 6K dropped. And
See, that's a brave move. That's a bold move right there. Because, like, if you're in Sony, you're safe. Like, there's enough people. Like, to me, Black Magic is like a foreign concept. when it comes to cameras?
Well, I did have some experience shooting on Reds when I was in BMX.
Okay.
Not me holding the camera, but some of the videographers had them, so I was just around them. So I always knew that if you had raw footage,
Yep.
you could do more with it. So I thought that I needed that to make my footage look good, but I couldn't afford a Red. The Komodo wasn't out yet, so I was like, Blackmagic's the way. And I really liked DaVinci. I was already had transitioned.
Okay.
To DaVinci.
Yeah.
So going the Blackmagic route made sense, and it also got me a card to get my DaVinci Resolve Pro account, so I had like a full DaVinci Resolve Studio. And man, I just, I don't want to say I got good, but I was learning fast. I could tell edit by edit that things were getting better. And through that time, I kind of came in. I didn't have a car yet. I wasn't drifting again, but I shot some stuff for Power Stop with Literal's team. I did some product videos for I can't even remember who now, but I was just doing stuff. I was active with it, and at no point, it's so funny. At no point during that whole experience of learning and progressing in the videography world did I ever think about going back to YouTube. Like
interesting.
It just wasn't. Yeah, I know, and I still don't do anything on YouTube.
Yeah.
I do nothing on YouTube. So that's kind of where I did that for a few years, even after COVID, and it was making me money. Like I had created a career for myself, and I'm really good at talking to people, way better than I am at making videos.
Oh yeah.
But I was able to go to businesses and pitch them, content packages and retainer packages, and it turned into a real career. And my wife, who I wasn't with my wife when I drifted the S14, so we were making some money, and she goes, well, why don't you build another car? Like, I know you miss it, you talk about it all the time. And I was like, thank you, but I was like, I don't know if you realize the jackal that I turn into when it comes to building a car. Like, I go all in on my hobbies.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do a hobby half-assed,
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen that meme where it's like, I got to figure out how to make money at this. It's simply too good. You ever seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's how I am with hobbies. Like, if I find a hobby and I love it, I'm like, well, I just want to do this all the time, so I have to figure out how to pay my bills with the hobby.
Right, yeah.
Whereas some people don't want to do that because it ruins the hobby for them. The minute it turns into a job, the hobby is ruined.
Yeah,
that's
true.
You hear people.
You can see
hear
that.
people, like camera guys, talk about that all the time, where they're recreational shooters and now they're doing weddings and they're doing corporate gigs and they hate shooting.
Or even, okay, I'll give you another example. I shoot all day, like all the time for other people drifting. When I go out and drift myself now, it is a chore to go film myself and to do the videos and to do all that kind of side of it, because I still got to go home. I got to edit all that stuff. And I'm like, this is so much harder to do than if I'm going to go do it for someone else, Just obviously because I'm getting paid, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
And you can't film yourself drift.
No, that is very also true. This is, yeah. So then I got to deal with other video guys, and then it's like, then
and your expectations are like up here.
Those quickly fall. Those will quickly fall.
No, and I'll talk. Well, you talk about that too, because I have a guy now that I've brought in, and I know what you're worth, right, as a videographer. I know what the guy is worth, whoever it is holding the camera. But I have a guy, Danny, now, who I bring out to events, and it's been a learning curve for him. From when we first started working together to now. I mean, he's progressed a ton. But he just shoots. I don't have him edit anything. He just shoots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he uses my gear and whatnot. But so my wife told me to build a car, and I start building this car, and some of my old partners like Koenig and BC, people I've worked with for years, they were very quick to be like, hey man, we see you're building a new car, like we'd love to help out. We need some wheels, some shocks, whatever. Nothing serious. Mm-hmm. And then I had this bright idea that this hobby that I've been doing to, to keep myself grounded while not having drifting or BMX, which was shooting. I was really passionate about that, and I'm really passionate about gun owners training and being efficient with their firearms. And
Yep.
I was like, man, I think I would be a great advocate for that in the motorsport space. And so I made this kind of Hail Mary pitch to Walther to title the car, and I didn't even have a car yet. I had a shell. I had a shell on jack stands, but I just committed to it. And the production stuff, the video stuff, I'm also Walther's head media guy for Walther USA.
Wow.
And that's a separate thing, completely separate from my race program.
Right.
But I found ways to leverage the production company with the race program to make it make sense. Right?
Yeah, 100%.
To give it that extra little bit of value to push the deal through.
Yeah.
I usually don't start with it. It's something I add later because I don't. You know how tough it can be. Like the deliverables just get so out of hand and it's so consuming that I find myself not having time to think.
Oh yeah, I know.
So it's very much an entrepreneurship. It's tough. I when people ask me like what do I say I do? I just say sales. Like that's really all it is.
That's what you're doing, right? Like you're selling yourself or a car or media. Like you're selling something. So that's what you're into.
Yeah, and I truly believe that's what it is. The other things that come with it, those are the bonuses. Like that's what I love to do, right? I love to film, I love to drive, I love to shoot. But I also really enjoy the conversations with these brands and these, the boards and the companies to make the deals happen. And I have other drivers in FD hit me up on how to get partners, but it's not. I don't think it's something that you can like teach. Like I could give Nate, I could give you the recipe. I could tell you exactly how I do, exactly what I say. I could give it all to you, but it's like maybe you don't have the same pitch, tone, and you know what I mean. Like it's not always just the material. It's the body language. It's the vocabulary that you use in the conversation. There's
Sometimes
so much
it's even
to it.
luck.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing too, and we were kind of touching on it quickly before the stream, and it was the fact that you went after companies outside of the motorsports. And that is probably the biggest thing that, at least from what I've seen, that is probably the most important thing for drivers, especially that looking for help, probably would be a much more successful route than going to you're the 10,000th person to go ask BC for something, Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's very true. And I think there's, if there's a couple different ways to go about it, right? Because there's going after companies in industries that you're passionate about and have knowledge about.
Yeah.
Like if you were I don't know why nobody's hit up a camera company outside of GoPro to sponsor a race car. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
you got
if
Canon
I
with
didn't
Larry and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, but that's a little different.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, but close. It is close. But having that brand outside of motorsports that also correlates with your personality and your other interests makes it a lot easier to sell because the passion comes through in the conversation. You're going to care a lot more than if you're going to hit up White Castle or some beverage company that you're never actually going to drink.
Right.
Like Monster and these energy drink companies that pour money into motorsport. I think it's awesome. I do. I love it for the drivers and the people who get to.
Or even like the off-brand ones that you hear about all the time.
The Doc.
I think
like Jeff Jones.
Yeah, there's
Doc
like 5
Energy.
different ones that I've seen in FD. different drink companies.
No, and I think that stuff's great, but like those dudes aren't really drinking that stuff. They're not passionate about drinking.
Right.
I don't know. I see Jeff drink a lot of Docks every year.
Dude, yeah, he's pretty committed to the. Yeah, he's committed.
He drinks a lot of them. He's got his Doc bombs and everything else.
Dude, I was just thinking about this the other day because I saw his post about giving out free or 50 free tickets to Hot Pit or something, and I was thinking about that, and I was like, "There's not a single person on earth who is more committed to a brand than he is to Doc. Like when he is just." It is him. Like, he does such a good job. But what I mean by that is generally, right? Like, if you were a big gamer and you got like Travis had a game development company sponsor his race car.
Yeah.
And he's a computer gamer. He drives sim. He plays fucking Counter-Strike and stuff.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Or me with the gun company, or Larry with Canon. Those partnerships are going to work the best because there's real passion behind the brands.
100%.
But
it's easier to sell yourself and everything else when you love and care about truly the product that you're trying to do, right?
Exactly. So I think that's like, if you can find that, if there's a way to make that work, if you're somebody who quits smoking cigarettes and you do nicotine pouches, and you can get a Zinn to sponsor your drift car and get people off cigarettes or whatever. Like they're big in NASCAR now, but those things, like things that actually work with your life and intermingle in your everyday, that's going to be the best. But then you go one step outside of that and you're like, okay, how do I get Tide? How do I get, Mr. Clean to partner with my car and introduce them to this demographic,
Yeah.
or tool companies, tool companies. It's odd to me that there's not more involved in our sport. We have Sunex with Dan and Gear Wrench, which was Dan, but not anymore. And Turk has a partnership with Snap-on. It's not, they're not titling his car or nothing, but he has a relationship. Right. And I just wonder, like, there's all these tool companies, whether it's some sweet American-made company like Snap-on or it's some Chinese company that's sold on Amazon, whatever. We all use them. And they're going to be used on and off the track, at home, in your shop, on the side of the road. So the content opportunities are endless, and the demographic is the same. I think Heatwave's done a good job at that, seeing a brand like Heatwave come in where...
Yeah, they're everywhere, dude.
Yeah, you use them. Dude, we use them in shooting. Like, they're not a partner of mine. They don't send me nothing. Dylan Hughes hooks me up with glasses. But, like, we're big fans. Yeah, because, like, that product can be used everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I think that if everybody would stop asking Link and BC and ACT and, their wheel sponsor for $150,000 to go drifting, don't even go to PRI. Save your money. Like, I don't mean that like I'm hating on PRI, but like if you're on a tight budget, you're trying to get partners, spend that money on somebody who can build you a proper deck. Spend that time on LinkedIn finding the right contact at a company that you think will fit your program.
Interesting.
I was telling somebody this story the other day, and it sounds a little crazy, and I don't even know if I should say it on here, but when I'm going to cold call a company to work with somebody, the first thing I do is try to find the right person on LinkedIn. And once I have a picture and a name, I find their Facebook. And I find out, are they married? Do they have kids? What are their hobbies? And then I make the phone call. Because if I see a guy and he's got a little girl, I've got a little girl. This is something that we can talk about. Yeah. That we can kind of find common ground before we start talking business. There's so, I don't want to go any further than that, but there's so many little tools and assets that are available to us for free. Yeah. And if you just really think about, like, what would you want if somebody was calling you and asking you for shit? What would you be most receptive to?
True.
It's not always I have 200,000 Instagram followers, or I drive Formula Drift, or I have a 1,000 horsepower car. Nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Nobody cares what engine's in your race car. They don't know. You know, I see decks all the time. This is my build, and they're like, dog box. What CMO is going to know what a dog box is?
True.
You know, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think the information. Hi, baby. You want to say hi? Come here. Olive wants to say hi.
All right.
Come on, baby. Put this up here. Climb up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You want to go sit on the couch?
Yeah.
All right. Keep the volume down, all right?
Hello.
Right.
We're gonna hear Coco Melon in the background or what?
I don't know what we'll hear. But yeah, I just think that sometimes just having a good, relatable conversation that isn't straight into I do Formula Drift or I've got this or that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, a lot
Especially
of it. I mean, you know, you bring up tools. You're like, I use tools every day working on my shit box.
Yeah.
I can film all of that. I mean, it's relatable content because we all work on our shit boxes, you know, and it's like that's an easy, I would feel like, play to a bunch of different companies, you know.
Dude, it's so easy. And you know that there's tool trade shows?
Oh yeah.
Oh, a ton of them.
Dude, if you're a driver looking for money, go to a tool trade show and pitch your shit to them. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I think that what happens is a lot of drivers are so caught up and so used to making these pitches within motorsports, right? Like what I was just talking about. They build this deck and they show some cool company in motorsport, hey, this is the car I've got, this is my setup, these are my electronics. And that matters when you're pitching it to a motorsports company. They want to see that you've got a good rig and but the minute that you get out of that and you're in some other industry, you know, that's got to pivot a little bit. You're going to have to adapt and adjust your information that you're giving to these people in order for them to see any value or even entertain it at all.
Yeah. No, I 100%. Like, it's an interesting topic or just an idea that you bring up because I feel like a lot of our industry is so one note when it comes to how to do things. And what I've liked about your program is you've gone out into left field and done your own thing. You know, and it's like, like honestly, who else is doing anything kind of close to you that you can even think of?
I don't know, because it gets tough, right? Because people see programs and they speculate. Like, people can look at my program and go, you know, they might not even think that I make any money, or they speculate at how much the program is worth or how much it brings in. So, you know, it's hard to look at somebody's program, you know, and be like, that's not just a fun program through family or whatever, you know, on a grassroots. We can call it grassroots, but it is a professional program. Like, I was a professional BMX rider that never rode in X Games. And I would like to think that I run a professional program within the drifting community at a non-competitive level for the most part. I would like to go visit Clutch Kickers, though. That's something I would like to do.
Yeah, but I mean, the age-old tale, right? If you're getting paid for it, you're a professional, right? Like, that's what's always been said.
That's right. That's right.
You know, like, I rode BMX, I rode motocross. I never got paid to do either. Therefore, I was never a professional. But I have been paid to
That's
do
exactly how I view it. I couldn't agree more with you. I would say Hurt. You know, Hurt's a good example with Nappy Boy, and even before that, I think Hurt made a program that made money essentially. You know, I don't know. I don't want to speak for Hurt, but but he's somebody that I look at, and you know, and I think, you know, that was kind of the way I wanted to go. I don't really know anybody else, dude.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not that's why I was really excited to have you on, because you do things in a very unique way. And what I didn't know is that you really don't necessarily advertise the social media side, like in terms of like YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Like it's not your selling point
No.
at all.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that's, but I would like to, but here's the problem with YouTube. Like, this is a problem on YouTube.
Right?
And it's also discouraging because you have to think, I built this community on my channel. I think I have like 100,000 subs or something. It's nothing insane, but
It's
like
a good
100,000
size, yeah.
subscribers. And at the time when I was doing it all full time, I was seeing like 30,000 views a video.
Yep.
You know, so my effort, all the effort that I put in for the 10 hours of filming, the 3 hours of post production, I felt like it was quantifiable. I could look at it and go, okay, I just put all this work in, and these people watched it and enjoyed my content. Now, you know how we are as we progress with our camera stuff. Like, I want to make it even better. I got lights, I got audio equipment. You know, I go all in on my YouTube videos. I post it, and it gets 2,000 views.
Yep.
And I'm like, I can't justify this. I just can't.
Yeah, you can't.
It doesn't make sense. And long form content, as we are constantly seeing, I know there's a ton of great creators that still have the audience for long form, but for the majority of us and the people that consume content, their attention span is 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I really just try to do good on Instagram, try to bring in a couple million views a month. Stay engaged, like I'll never not respond to a DM.
Yeah.
Like I respond to every single direct message that I get. I try to stay kind of in the loop on what's going on with sport, and also within firearms, which is a whole nother, huge industry.
I'm sure there is stuff all the time. Not only is there obviously new stuff that comes out, new guns, all that kind of stuff, but then there's also new laws every other month in different states that are popping up, or
Yeah. There's laws. There's new product. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said I'd imagine Kentucky doesn't change a ton of stuff in that realm very often.
No, not much, but it does dictate where we spend our time at events.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go to California and make a huge activation and presence at an event in California. Although I know there are a lot of pro-gun people in California, a lot of the products that my partners make aren't legal there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's no reason to go.
Yeah, so it just isn't worth the investment to go out. Now being out here in Kentucky, spending a lot of time in Georgia, Ohio, South Carolina, North Carolina, Michigan, right? Those are very pro-gun states.
Yep.
And for us with Walther and Geisley, Geisley's my rifles. Did you know that we brought on some new gun brands this year?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about it. I think I saw it on the card.
Yeah.
I was like,
we can talk about that a little bit, but
Yeah.
but what the thing is that we're trying to create a space and an avenue or a point of contact for new shooters and first-time gun owners.
yep.
So Nate, you buy your first gun. I don't know if you're a gun guy or not, but let's say you buy your first gun. You go, Caleb, what do I do now? I bought the pistol that I thought works well for me. What do I do
Correct.
now? And I can go, okay, well, we need to get you a good EDC belt, a holster.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I like to carry my gun. This is the good carry ammo. Here's the great options for classes to get you started, or you can come take a class with me.
Yep.
Whatever. But I want to be that point of contact for people in our space, in our sport. And I've done that, dude. I have sold so many guns, not personally. I don't sell guns.
Right, obviously.
Personally, though, I have had so many people within automotive, from NASCAR to sprint car to drifting, road race guys, reach out to me and show me they bought a Walther, or ask me a question about setup or carrying or training. And so at the end of the day, that's the most important thing to me when it comes to this program. If there's one takeaway, if all this fizzles out eventually, years down the road, hopefully, that I can say I helped, create a competent new shooter, a competent gun owner that's willing to put in the work to be an asset to their family or themselves or the people around them. Because that's really, when we start carrying a gun every day, it's you've adopted this responsibility to protect yourself, to be your family's first responder, and anybody who's around you. If you're at a grocery store and God forbid something terrible happens and you're armed, you have that responsibility to protect those people now. You signed yourself up for that.
Yep.
And the only way that you're going to be able to be level-headed enough to take on a terrible thing like that is it with training and confidence. So that's where a lot of this program, as much as the drifting does mean to me, and I love it, it's one of my most favorite things to do in my whole life, but there's some extracurricular stuff involved with this program that I'm really passionate about, and also why I feel like I was a good advocate for this industry within motorsports. You've seen gun companies sponsor NASCARs. Mm-hmm. Winchester's on a car right now with Bass Pro. Yep. Remington used to sponsor Dale Sr. Mm-hmm. We've seen it, and those guys hunt. Dale Sr. hunted. Right. Yeah. Big hunting guy. Mm-hmm. But like on a more practical, we call it practical shooter, right? Yeah. Somebody who's, or practical or tactical. I hate the word tactical, but it's important to really remember that these are meant to kill people. Yeah. That's what that's for. I have hunting rifles too, but like we need to really think about why we own guns. Right. So that's often a topic of conversation when it comes to the program. But I would like to, for the people that don't know, Walther has been my title sponsor for the last 3 years, and they still are. But as a co-title, we brought on Geisley Automatics. Geisley is a rifle manufacturer out of Pennsylvania. Okay. Fielding a ton of military and LE contracts all over the world. So they have the SOCOM mid-range gas gun contract for SOCOM, which is Special Operations. Yep. They do Border Patrol rifles, so they have the contract with them. Yep. And some others that I will probably botch and fuck up, so I'm not going to say them. And then another partner is Huxworks. Yeah. Huxworks is a suppressor manufacturer who also has a ton of military contracts and SOCOM and different units and groups out there in the military. Mm-hmm. And then Silencer Shop, which I don't know if...
No. They'll come back. Promise. We'll get them back. Oh. Maybe. Come on. Oh. He disappeared. Why did he disappear? What's going on? Dude, what the okay. Yeah, they're popping in and then popping out. I don't know why. Let me check. Interesting. Okay, hold up. Let me get this figured out. Dude, why does he keep kicking him? Hold up. Let me check something at the moment, because we're still working and it's still live. So why would it kick them? All right, you're still here. I don't know why. Every time you guys would come in, it would kick you guys out.
No. Is your Wi-Fi working?
Yeah, it is working.
Play your show.
It's on my end, I think. It's, as Kurtis knows, this is my end. Yeah. And when both of you guys are kicked, it's me.
I'm here all the time, so I'm used to it going south like this.
You're good.
We're
back live.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
It just, for some reason, it kept kicking you guys and then bringing you back, kicking you. I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
But
Well, I
we're
don't
good.
know how much was lost in translation there with the
And
that, but
yeah, I mean, we got a lot
the,
of it, and then as soon as it popped off, that's when it
when
was
did it pop off? What was I saying?
The suppressors.
suppressors. Yeah.
So I said Huxworks is a partner of the car.
Yep.
All right. So Silencer Shop is an online retailer that helps bridge the tax form process between the ATF and your local FFL to get
Okay.
suppressors and short barreled rifles.
Gotcha.
They are actually title sponsoring Travis Reeder's car this year.
That's sweet. Yeah.
So that's exciting to have one of my best friends kind of in this space with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say I'm like trying to gatekeep this, but it's a very touchy industry. It's serious.
It only takes one bad apple, and then there goes the entire reputation.
And not even that. Not that I'm worried about losing or the industry rejecting motorsport. It's that I worry about the sort of things that somebody could spread to the masses. This is a serious thing, and there's consequences and
Yep.
responsibilities that attach to it. So, wanting to bring people in that share the same passion, are interested in learning and training. Dylan Hughes is another one that I've been friends with Dylan forever as well, and he's a big gun guy that nobody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't talk about it on social media. Dylan can shoot.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of coming out of his bubble and seeing that, it's okay to show your hobbies and be passionate about something that some people don't agree with. And I respect everybody's opinion on whatever. There may be somebody that says, "Oh, I don't like guns." That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do your thing. I support you. It's all good.
Yeah. And the thing is it's doing it in a very constructive manner. The way that you've gone about it is awesome. Like you said, instead of being like, oh yeah, you just go use this to go hunting or something, or some target practice. Like, no, you're actually trying to improve society and improve gun ownership from a base.
Yeah. Did you see the roof of my car?
The new one?
Yeah.
I haven't. No.
Yeah, it says Geisley assault rifles on the roof of my car.
Oh no, I did see that. Yes, you're right. I was going to ask you about why that's their name, right?
So Geisley is owned by a gentleman named Bill Geisley.
Okay.
And he is a legend inside of this world, this industry.
Yeah.
I've been a customer of Geisley for like 10 years, and now I get to work with them. I never owned any of their rifles, their complete rifles, back then because I couldn't afford them.
Yeah.
But their triggers, they're really known for their triggers. Like, the Geisley triggers are phenomenal. And actually, back then, they didn't even make complete guns. They just did upper receivers. They had a URGI, which was a contracted. It's that one right there.
Yep.
That gun. So anyways, yeah, I've just been a long-time customer, and it was one of those things where I didn't take no for an answer. I had multiple rifle companies begging me to work with this program and be a part of the program and spend money.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kept Geisley's the only one. Geisley's the only one. And they just gave me one free gun. It wasn't like I had this, there wasn't even a sliver of hope that it was going to turn into something
right
like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But it all worked out. I feel like I just kind of manifested it. They actually just bought a C6 drift car to build in-house.
No way.
Yeah, so that all the employees can learn how to drift. They are down.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's
so really cool.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, and like I said, you're going about it the right way, and you found your niche. You found what you're passionate about, and that's so important when we're like you said, talking to companies that they can sense that. They can sense whether or not you're just there for the money or if you're there to actually, do something.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
and
I couldn't agree more.
you know,
Couldn't agree more with that. That was what we kind of talked about that earlier, which is like get out of automotive to find real support and funding. But if you can find it in a place where it's an industry that you do have some passion or attachment to, it's going to be much easier to not only land the deal, but to interact with said brand or products throughout the year to make content with whatever. It's.
so let me ask this. Obviously, guns is quote unquote a touchy subject. I still don't know why, but it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Drifting is a so on called touchy subject as well to some people. Whether it's being looped in with the people that do it in the intersection, which isn't drifting, or
takeovers.
Yeah, takeover people, or it's just bad for the environment or whatever people say. It's is the fact that drifting and guns are slightly like I don't want to say taboo, but you know what I'm saying. Like they're not necessarily the most peaceful of.
They're not the most welcome.
Is that kind of like a synergy almost, or is it like or is that not really something that comes up? Because I'm curious when you go talk to companies outside of drifting, is there backlash because of that? Because they look at other things like, for example, takeover, and like that actually is what scares them off of possibly supporting drifting.
So I've never had takeovers ever come up in conversation. I've never had that be a question or a deterrent to a partnership happening. I have had people that just don't understand drifting. They're like, what is the point? Like, you're not racing. You are racing. Who wins? How do they win? And because I don't compete, it's really easy for me to say it's just an exhibition. I'm out there to put on a show and make people laugh and smile and enjoy themselves or scare the shit out of them, whichever.
Yeah.
And usually it starts with getting somebody in the car before the pitch happens. I try to do that, but
that's a good point.
It doesn't always work that way. So, no, you know what I really think it is it's the people. The brands, we're at a weird point right now where kind of a lot of the boomers have kind of retired or are in such a senior role within a brand that a chief marketing officer or a marketing manager or director of marketing is probably in their mid to late 30s, like our age. You know, it's somebody that knows what it is that we do. Now, 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. 10 years ago, it would be really hard to sell something like drifting to a CMO or anybody in a marketing role outside of motorsport. But now people know what it is enough to have a conversation. And as far as the individuals, the participants, the spectators, the fans, the customers, whatever you want to call them, if you like tinkering on cars, tuning cars, modifying cars, like there's a good chance you like modifying guns. It's just kind of in our nature to tinker, and setting stuff up. I mean, there's so many little tweaks and parts and things that we can do to personalize the shooting experience, just like you tinker and modify your car to cater to your driving experience.
Yep.
And also, if you're somebody who's got a drift car and a race trailer and a shop and a truck, you probably want to protect your shit.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Or you have a family. The only reason I got into shooting ever even bought a gun was because my daughter was going to be born, and I was like, I need to be able to protect her.
Yeah.
And I was so humbled the minute that I bought that gun, went into my backyard and set up pop cans and couldn't hit a pop can at 5 feet. It was humbling. That's why I preach this training thing, and being, efficient with your firearm, and there's big responsibility there. So, I think that the majority, when it comes to the fan base and the customer base, it's just that element of like, hell yeah, like that's cool. Like when you see a clip of Dale Sr. online, you go, hell yeah. Like it's just in our blood. Like
Yep.
as adrenaline junkies or just red-blooded Americans, like there's something about whether it is shooting and blowing shit up and mag dumping into a berm or training, whatever. You know, it's just kind of in our blood. It's something that we can all kind of bond over at some level.
Yeah. You know, target shooting, you know.
Yeah, it's a blast. It's a good
Yeah.
time with your friends. And it's so funny because I remember when I was doing gun stuff, like I wasn't doing drifting. You know, I had so many friends who would bitch about how guns were so expensive and shooting and training was so expensive they just couldn't afford the ammo. And now that I'm back in motorsport, I have so many friends that are like, "Hey, thanks for getting me into guns and getting me into a hobby that's cheaper than drifting."
Yeah,
you
drifting's
know?
expensive, right? Like,
Yeah. Speaking of that, talking with companies though, it's very often that they don't understand how expensive it is to do what we do.
Yeah.
At a professional level, I understand my car is way gnarlier than it needs to be.
Right. No, it's
way
true.
gnarlier. But you know, just even the overall logistical cost to operate
Yeah.
are high, and you know, I think that sometimes, not so much anymore, but in the beginning, you know, I think that some of our partners just thought they were putting all this money in my pocket, that I was just going to take this big check and stick it in my pocket, and I'm loaded now, you know, and I'm like, I won't see a dime of that this year, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the running costs.
Yep.
And remember, I was starting from scratch, right? Like I didn't have a truck, I didn't have a trailer.
Yep.
Built the car from scratch. We had, you know, engine problems. We had to basically, you know, re-outfit a whole spares package.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had nothing, you know. If Kenda Tires wouldn't have came on board with this program might not be where it is. So huge shout out to Kenda.
Yeah. Solid tires too. But like, tell me about the car, because for one, it's a BMW, but it is not an ordinary BMW.
No. I don't know how in depth you want me to get, but I'll give a good breakdown because I think that everybody who's contributed to this car and our partners and stuff, it's as gnarly and as special as it is and unique because of them. So
yeah,
it's an E46. I don't actually know what chassis it started as. It was just a bare shell. But yeah, it's got a Street Fighter kit on it.
Yep.
We've got a late model engines, 427, 14.5 to 1 compression, LSR block, daily dry sump, CID intake, CID heads. Makes 700 in the tire, NA.
All the good stuff. Jeez.
Yeah, we got a 6XD gearbox.
What fuel? Sorry, what fuel?
Ignite red.
Okay.
So ethanol.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so 6XD gearbox. We got a winner's quick change in it, some G-force axles, all radium fuel stuff. So radium intake surge tank, fuel safe fuel cell, radium filters, you know, radium everything. Link ECU for all of our electronics. So that was a big one for me. You know, I had worked with Link in the past, and then I tried something else for a little bit that I thought made sense, and it was just like, it was like a call to home. Like, it was like being homesick and being like, oh, I made a mistake, you know, like,
yeah,
this is where I belong. All of my friends are here at Link. Jason has been there for me and vouched for me and had my back for the last 10, longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
Jason has always been there for me. So coming back to Link, Justin Medina's my boy. You're my boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Forrest. Like, this is where you'll never see me go anywhere else when it comes to electronics. The customer service, the product, like, this is it for me. Unless you guys fire me, I'm never going to. I love it. So yeah, Link Electronics. Still front radiator though. That's like a thing that people often bring up with my car. is they're like, oh, it's like an FD car, but not, because it has a front radiator. And they work. All those guys with rear mount radiators, their shit overheats.
Adam
Most
LZ
of the
and
time.
Pro runs a front radiator.
Yeah, just LZ.
They don't all overheat, but most of them are running radiators. You're NA, right? So it's easy to keep.
Yeah. So I have the space.
Yeah, if you have the space and you mount your radiator in the rear, you're messing up for sure.
Well, and what I meant by that, when I said they all overheat, I'm talking about if you did 6 laps at Gingerman at a Grid Life event versus like FD. Like if you treated your FD car as like a party car, they will typically have more cooling issues. You know, they all make it through their runs at FD fine, but like, you know, even Matt Field, you know, Matt's car gets hot at Laguna. We were talking about that. Like it's just harder. I don't know what it is. I'm not a mechanic. I tinker, you know, but there's way smarter people, including yourself, that could probably shed some more light on that. But
some of it's weight, and I think a lot of it's weight balance too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a valid argument, I'm sure. But for me, the front radiator has been super good, and I do have the space, like you said. I don't got a Pro Charge or a turbo, nothing like that. So the front rad works really good for me. I've got Sicky headers on it, so just 1 7/8 headers, which are kind of holding the engine back a little bit. It could use a bigger primary, but I just haven't forked out the $10,000 to have somebody make me custom headers. Prisma's all the safety gear in the car. I've worked with NRG before Prisma was a thing. I've worked with NRG for I don't know 10 years or something. So Jason over there takes good care of me and keeps the car looking fresh on the inside. We've got Koenig wheels on it. Mm-hmm. So been with Koenig for a very, very long time. BC shocks, of course. Been with BC for a long time. Cody from BC actually is sending up a set of shocks to the guys at Geisley for their new C6 build.
Oh, hell yeah.
And Cody's a big gun guy. I don't know if a lot of people know that or not, but big gun guy.
That's cool.
I think that's part of living in Florida. Like,
it's got to be.
You can move there, they check to make sure that's one of your hobbies.
He's got a Walther, and soon he will have a Geisley as well.
There you go.
So that's exciting. SLR for steering. SLR steering on the car. We actually just switched the whole front, both corners to E36 knuckles.
Interesting.
And shocks. I had some issues last year with some binding and over-centering with the stock E46 knuckle, and apparently switching to E36 should help that. I haven't driven it yet, so I don't know. But Travis runs all E36 stuff on his car and told me I was an idiot for not doing it sooner.
Most guys do. That's what I do is 36 stuff. It's just a better design overall, the way it attaches.
It's definitely easier to work on.
Yeah.
Like if you need to change that corner, it's much easier, especially if something's bent. Like if you bend a shock and it gets wedged inside that E46 knuckle, you can't get that out.
Yep.
You got to do a whole corner. Yeah. So, I made that switch. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited. Let's see what else. I've got Andy Seehausen is the man and does all of the fab work on my car. Andy's a BMX rider who is phenomenal on a BMX bike, may I add. He was James's crew chief with RTR for a year or two. He worked with the Worthhouse guys, James and Peter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure everybody watching this knows who Andy is.
Yeah.
I don't need to.
Most people that follow professional drifting know who Andy is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not trying to stroke him too hard here, but he takes really good care of me.
He's well, man.
Yeah,
I'm grateful for him. So.
No, it's like you said, it's a gnarly car though.
It is, yeah, and then you got to have 2 of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you, one of the bad things about working with people outside of motorsports is when the car breaks, they don't understand. They're like, what do you mean the fucking engine blew up? I'm like, yeah, it blew up. They're like, what do you mean? How is that possible? Like yeah, just it happens. Shit breaks. You know, they don't get it. And instead of trying to, you know, instead of trying to get them to understand or it's just easier to have two of everything. Like, you guys are invested in this. What do you say?
I mean, if you have obligations, right, to your sponsors and everything else, you have to have two of pretty much everything. Sure. Especially with what you're doing. You're not running in pro, so there's not another team that you might know that has a spare that might be able to help you out. That one weird item that never really breaks, but so you just didn't buy it, you know? Like, you're off in grid lights and stuff like that. The chances of somebody having a spare for you and being willing to loan it is pretty low.
It is. Yeah. No, you're right. You're totally right. And, you know, but it takes time to get that package together. You know, it's not like, for instance, our transmission setup. Like, we have a 6XD, which is technically a 5XD gearbox. That's our primary gearbox. But I have an Andrews as a spare with a cross member. The drive shaft is the same length. You know, it's a spare. It will work. It will work with our clutch. It'll work with our release bearing. Everything's the same. Yeah. The length, you know, everything's good.
Yeah, that's how the 6XD was designed, right? Was to be interchangeable with all the on the market that are out there for the GSRs.
Exactly. Yeah. So the shifter position's the same. The drive shaft, everything's the same minus the cross member. So our spare box is ready to go with its cross member and fittings and everything's ready to go. But yeah, it just takes time to build that up, you know. The one thing we don't have a spare of is we don't have a spare quick change. Yeah. You know, I don't have a spare quick change. You know, LME is working on our spare engine right now for this year. So it's an identical 427 intake to oil pan. Yeah. Like, there's no swapping oil pans and intakes and like, no, this thing, I want it to be hook up the lines and go. The only thing that would have to be swapped out is the oil lines, you know, if we lost an engine, and clean the tank.
Yeah. No, that's true. So
people often forget cleaning the tanks and swapping the lines like that.
I don't want to say I'm experienced, but I'm pretty fucking experienced.
I've seen that stuff get skipped a whole lot over the years, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, pretty good at cleaning dry sump tanks and lines or replacing lines.
That's funny.
But it's tough, dude. I'm a one-man band. There's no team at the shop working on my shit, you know? Yeah. Other than Andy, who's, again, phenomenal, but he can't always be there for me, you know? It's me and my uncle helps sometimes. Lately, he's been a lot more involved, and he's been a mechanic for 50 years. He's retired now. Yeah. But he likes tinkering, and especially when I'm in a bind. If I'm in a time crunch or a bind, you know, he's there to help out. But our schedule is tough, you know. Like FD, if you have a problem, you wreck the car, you break something, you've got a few weeks usually before your next round. Yep. The month of April, I'm only home for 3 days. Yep. And the car is drifting every weekend of that month. Yep. So that's often scary because, you know, like, it's not that it can't be done. It can be done to make a change on the car or replace something. But it just gets a little overwhelming because, like you said, there's obligations, Kurtis, and I have to be places and do things, you know. There are times when there's nothing you can do about it, you know. If it's out of your hands, if you've done everything you can physically, mentally, financially, and emotionally possible to make that deadline or be at that thing, and, you know, something's held up in shipping or whatever, then it just is what it is, and you move on and you make up for it, you know. You don't just write that off and don't deliver the asset later in some other way or over deliver elsewhere. You make it up.
You just kind of pivot to something else, right? Like,
Yeah, dude. I stay pivoting.
pivot.
I'm
I'm a big pivot guy.
Big pivoter over here,
When
man.
stuff goes wrong, pivot.
Yeah. No, you never give up. Pivot.
That's it.
I love that. I don't hear enough people use that word.
I used it a lot last year because that's what I did for most of the season.
Pivot. Just got to pivot.
Yep.
That's
I love
crazy.
that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're like, at the end of the day, you're doing this for a living now, which is cool.
Yeah.
Like that, and I mean, how many drifters can actually say that? And then
Not
how many
enough.
can say that outside of, like, professional drifting?
Yeah, there's not enough that can say it. That's something that's
Yeah.
been a huge problem for me. And if you talk to any of my friends, I want to see everybody do well. I want to see everybody be comfortable. I don't want to see people take from each other and undercut each other until everybody's left with nothing. I hate seeing that in our sport, and we've all dealt with it or been a part of the problem, or
Yeah.
but I want to see everybody succeed, and I feel fortunate. I feel lucky and grateful that drifting has given me everything that it has, and I don't
Yeah.
take it for granted for a second, especially now that I'm older. When you're younger, it's easy to take things for granted or fuck things up
Yeah.
or, just make mistakes. But I believe that if you just learn from them and keep working and trying to, be better, it'll all work out. But yeah, I'm just grateful. I think that we're going into year 3 of this program. So 2 years and 2 months ago, I didn't have a race car or any partners.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people that are punching the fucking air and they're mad because they're going, and I've heard this. Like, I'm not talking shit or hating. It's just I've heard people be like, well, I've been doing this for so long, and why don't I have that? Or why
Yeah.
can't I get that? Not in a constructive way. Like, hey man, how do I find my place? How do I do that? It's like
Right.
it's just out of frustration because of all their efforts and their
Yep.
their investment of being in this sport. And like you said earlier, there's a little bit of luck, but there's a lot of fucking hard work that goes into it.
Yeah.
Nobody
well,
gets
it's
to
smart
see
hard work. That's the challenge, right? Because there's a lot of people that work hard, but
Yeah.
it's not always in the right buckets,
Yeah. No, you're
Yeah,
right.
we use a lot of time into the wrong thing.
Yeah. A lot of my time is on phone calls. I'm about 12 hours a day on the phone.
Yeah.
I really make it. It's really important to me that my relationships with these folks and stuff are as tight as possible.
Yeah.
And I don't work with anybody that I wouldn't hang out with or trust my child with, or
Right.
like these are good people that I work with.
Exactly.
And like Chris from Walther, is one of my best friends now. If the Walther thing ever fizzles out or we pivot and have to do something different for our,
Yeah.
whatever. Like Chris is a lifelong friend of mine. His children are friends with my daughter,
Yeah.
and it's like I just think it's awesome, and not to say that anybody works less hard, or it's like what you said. It's just maybe in the wrong places,
Yeah.
I don't know.
And-
I don't know. I don't have an answer.
Right. Well, I mean, if that's the thing, that's the $1 million question, right? Like, what is
Yeah.
other people's places? But I think people need to hear that there are other opportunities outside of motorsports, and it's just how can that relate to you in your everyday life? Like you said, the key is having a passion about something, and like we all have passions outside of motorsports. I like to play video games. I also play sports on the side sometimes. Like I have my own little side things that I like to do too. But it's like, okay, so what are some of the things you use on that side of your life? And is that potentially something you can kind of weave together with what you do? And for me, it's like I said, I was excited to have you on because like I said, you're totally different than anyone else that I know in drifting that's making it work. And like that's really cool. I mean, for example, Andy Haley's I think another really good example of someone who's making it work in a very unique way.
his own unique way.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You know, and so just as an example, you know, but like it's cool to see because there is money out there. Not that there's a ton of it, but
Dude,
you
there's
just
a
got to
ton
go
of
to
it.
the right places.
Yeah, I think
There's
there's
a
a
ton.
untapped markets, right? Like just in weird
Yeah.
places that no one's looking underneath the rocks.
Yeah,
And
dude, there is so much. I don't mean to cut you off, Nate,
Yeah, yeah.
but I've seen budgets for these big companies. I've seen the spreadsheets. I know how much they're spending on print ads still in 2025. I know, like, there is money out there.
oh yeah,
And it's also, but it is subjective. When you say making it work or making a living, you know, like, is making it having a program that brings in $50,000 a year, or is it a program that brings in $500,000 a year?
yeah,
You know, what is making it? What do you, you know, my salary, if I make $75,000, $80,000 a year, that my salary, you know, that might be perfect for my family,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, my household. But for somebody with 3 or 4 kids, they can't do that.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Not doable, you know? So it's all pretty subjective in the programs, right? If I was doing Formula Drift, with the amount of money I bring in, I could do Formula Drift without a doubt, but I wouldn't make any money.
Yeah,
You know,
Yep.
I would just do Formula Drift. That would be it.
yeah,
You
exactly. It's
Formula Drift, actually. So
What'd you say?
I said it's pretty normal in Formula Drift. So you
Yeah,
right.
no, I know it, but I know that, and I've seen it. So that's why when people ask me, why don't you do Formula Drift? That's your answer. Like, I can still go drifting with some of the best drivers in the world at these big events and spread awareness to drifting and put smiles on people's faces, not competing, you know, and not
Oh, yeah.
spending 20 grand a weekend.
yeah. We did
I
get a
think that's an
question.
avenue that more recently opened up, though, right?
What'd you say?
That's an avenue that kind of more recently opened up, right? Like with
Well-
Grid Life becoming so dominant in the space and all that.
Yeah, no. If I would have had the same mindset that I have now, like, you know, if I was the person I am now in 2016, I would have done this sooner.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not even saying with firearms. The way I approach partnerships, the way I approach the professionalism in drifting and in motorsport, I just would have done it different. I blew it back then. You know, I was young and stupid, didn't know what I was doing. But without those mistakes, without that time, I wouldn't be where I am today. So, like, I don't regret those mistakes, you know, just being a young screw up, essentially. Not a screw up, but like just making mistakes, you know? And so I don't know. I wouldn't trade those in, but I think this avenue that we're on now, that we're seeing that is possible, whether it's with me or somebody else, has been there. It just hadn't been done.
Oh yeah,
Because Grid Life, I mean, I think Grid Life's a great asset when you're talking about pitching this professional grassroots space. Grid Life's been happening since what, 2016?
yeah. Long time.
Right?
Yeah, I think about 16, right? Was it?
Yeah,
16,
yeah.
17.
And
You
it's
know,
been packed for a
it's-
long time.
It has been. But, you know, pre-social media, this wouldn't work.
True.
So that would be, I guess, kind of the cutoff to when this would be valuable to a brand. And it would also take a brand recognizing that social media is important back then, which was impossible. Nobody wanted to believe that social media was going to be anything special.
Right.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
true.
So, and
we-
Nate, you got cut off. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we did get a question from Disconnect64, and it says, "Why does professional drifting not cross promote more with extreme sports, kind of like Hunter Constantine collab?"
Yeah. So Hunter Constantine also sponsors my car. I forgot.
Okay.
That. So Hunter makes. Hold on, I'm going to show you and try to explain this. So Hunter makes a EDC belt. So this is a rigid side of the belt, and then you've got this elastic side, and it clips together here.
Huh. Okay.
This belt is the #1 EDC belt in the world. This is the best gun belt that money can buy. It's affordable. Use code Caleb at checkout to get a discount. But Hunter came to Drift Mansion with us and fell in love with drifting.
Okay.
Never been around it.
Yeah.
I taught him how to drift in about 30 minutes. Me and Travis did.
Nice.
He went home. He hosts a shooting competition. He's a grandmaster USPSA shooter. He is a bad mother effer with a gun. Serious, like, pistol shooter.
Okay.
And he's sponsored by Smith & Wesson. Either way, this year he's doing a thing called Belt Bounty, and Belt Bounty is a submission-based shooting competition, and you're going to win a drift car.
What?
He's giving away a drift car, and if you win, you get a track day with me, and I teach you how to drift it.
Oh, that's so sick.
So he's like right now he lives in Arizona. He's currently building a C6. Thank you, baby. He is building a C6 drift car with the help of a lot of our partners, SLR, BC Racing, Koenig. They've all kind of teamed up with this project, and so that collaboration that kid's talking about, or that guy, is this. It's really a drifting and firearms collaboration.
That's cool.
And it's a huge, risk for him. I mean, he invested money. I mean, he's on my program. He's on my car.
Yeah.
I sell the shit out of these belts. They're fantastic. And some of the other ones, the other brands, as far as collaborations go, I think it gets tricky because what's the collaboration, right? Like, what is the thing? You know?
It's really hard to do a affordable collaboration.
Yeah, because it's two expensive ass hobbies. And one thing that I really want to do, and Kurtis, you might be able to chime in here. I want to do a drift event where every single vendor at the drift event is a gun company. Because no current drift organizations will let any of my partners be vendors. And when I say vendor, I don't mean well, actually I do mean this, but at these other organizations like Grid Life or Hot Pit or Fuel Fest, whatever, they just want to have a booth and give out free shit, not guns. Now, my event, I want it to be in a track where each brand can have a booth, like a normal vendor booth at FD or Grid Life, where you can come up and hold demo guns. They're not operable. They're in-op demo guns.
Yeah.
But like you can come up and hold the guns and really collide these two industries. And I don't know if you guys know this, but at a shooting competition, typically there's a prize table. There'd be a big fucking table with like $50,000 in gun parts, optics, rifles, pistols, lights, bipods, all that stuff. It'll be on this table, and first place gets to pick something off the table, the best thing, and then second place, and so on. I want to do a prize table with a drifting competition where it's all gun stuff. You don't win money, but you might win a $20,000 rifle.
Wow, that would be really interesting. Because it's almost like a little gun convention with a drift sideshow competition thing.
Yeah, and what it allows is it gives a real purpose for people in the firearms world, in the industry, to come out and really experience drifting. And I want to bring 10 guest drivers. I want to pay them, actually pay them, to show up and drive and be a part of this and give ride-alongs and create an experience and an opportunity for these two worlds to really collaborate, like that YouTube guy said, your guy who asked the question.
Oh, yeah.
So that's something to think about. Kurtis, if that's something that you'd be interested in being a part of.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I think there's a way to facilitate that somewhere, especially down here in the old Southeast,
Yeah. I had a couple things in mind, but in our own time, we'll talk about it because you obviously know how to run events,
but it's it's an idea that I don't know why I've never heard of doing a convention of any kind and then doing a sideshow, and
Yeah.
then that's how you make the money. Like,
Easy on that word though, sideshow.
you
Yeah,
gotta
you got to be careful how you throw that term around, dude.
Yeah.
you make a good point. You make a really good point actually.
Yeah.
But like what I consider like that is like almost like doing like a demo or like a, you know, like you got your monster trucks on the side doing some really cool stuff. You know, I've seen that before.
Well,
Where
think
there's like
Burnyard.
Yeah,
Hoonigan's Burnyard at SEMA. That's a trade show with a demo outside.
that's true. Okay.
Something similar to that with a little bit more structure and not burnouts. Because
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I can't this is probably the least American thing I've ever said. I can't stand watching people just do standstill burnouts.
Well, the hard part I've always had is like you can't see it most of the time.
Yeah, you do. You get 5 seconds, then the car's gone.
You're gonna upset the Australians, dude. Be careful.
Dude, I'm sorry. I don't mean it. But
They can't have guns. It's fine.
yeah, dude. I've had some Australians come at me over the gun stuff and try to educate me on why their country's better than ours. Which,
I'm sure.
I've had the
I
opposite.
wonder how quickly that country could be taken over by someone else.
Yeah, dude,
we had some of the Australians over for clutch kickers, and they were stoked to shoot guns, learn about guns, everything else. So, like, I've had the opposite experience. Every Australian I've ever met that came to America, we've taken them to shoot and everything, and they're like, "This is the greatest thing ever. I wish we could have this back up."
yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be 90%. I mean, it's the couple.
Yeah, it's the psychos out there. I get it.
Ones, you know?
I mean, everybody has their opinions and thoughts, right? And
Who gives a shit? I mean, and that's the thing. It's okay to have your own opinion and do your thing, but it's also okay for me to tell you who gives.
You know, it's what's interesting is you look at a place like Mexico right now. How many people are just sitting ducks out there with all the craziness that's going on down there right now?
Yeah, no, that's awful. That's a collapse.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a real war zone. That's not a.
And a lot of people don't have a way to defend themselves down there.
Yeah, and they're not organized, dude. It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's crazy
down there, and I don't want to say you almost don't have a shot, you know, but
no,
it's such a. They are so heavily armed, and they have the financial backing, the cartels,
yeah.
to have a lot. I mean, I'm not political at all. I don't like talking politics. I don't do none of that stuff. But, you know, it's a really bad problem for our country as well, you know.
Yep.
The cartels and what they bring into our country and violence just even at our borders. Not even, I mean, yeah, what's going on in Mexico is horrible, but even at our borderline, you know, with trafficking and human trafficking specifically, is a real bad problem, and I don't know.
Well, I think it's just a great it literally advocates like protecting yourself, you know, and being able to protect yourself over here like you can, and that in my opinion that deters a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll tell you what country's not getting ran up on by anybody is this one. I mean,
that's for
nobody's ever rushed our shorelines.
And what they did, it didn't go so hot. So, like let's be honest, like this, it's such a core part of the country and why it works for what you're doing. You know, there's no way you could do this in probably any other country in the world.
No, and that's kind of a problem at the same time, though. Right?
Okay.
Because, dude, I got a DM. Let me read you this DM because it's crazy.
Well, it limits where you can go, right? Like I'm sure there's
where it makes sense. It limits what makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, but while you're looking for that, have you had anyone say that like you couldn't run logos on the car at X event if you went here, or like has that been a thing?
Grid Life got a little tight in the beginning. They were hesitant, not at me running the logos, but how involved I could be with Grid Life, because I have a really good relationship with Grid Life and have for years. When they were small, and I was I'm not big, but I was a bigger automotive creator on YouTube. They benefited from my audience in the beginning when they were small, and they questioned how involved they could really be with me and my program when I got on Walther, and so I think that over time now, like we're kind of back to being great again. Like we're working really good together. They take good care of me at events, and but I think it's just at first sight you got to kind of sit back and see how this is going to play out. They did, they had to kind of see what's the response from the fan base, the community, the industry, and what is he really out here preaching? Is he going to be out here like gang banging with guns, or is he going to be a good advocate for the industry? There's so many different levels to it because, this responsibility with the firearms industry in somebody else's hands could look worse. It could look in a negative way. I got a DM yesterday, and it says, "Please send." This is a real page, by the way. This is a drifter. This is a guy who drifts cars or is into drifting. He has a drift car. Yeah. Kind of. Says, broken English, it says, "Send guns to Iranian people, bro. We will pay for it. They are killing us. This is important. SOS." That is a DM I got at 7:45 yesterday.
Wow.
It's super easy to just send those things places.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like it is tricky because in other countries with conflicts and countries that don't allow firearm ownership, like that's a huge chunk of the world that we miss out on as financially, that we can't sell to. So I think one of the things that we really want to do this year is talking with Walther and Geisley and our partners is doing more soft goods, doing more things that they can be a part of if they do want to support or represent the company. It doesn't have to be a hard good. It doesn't have to be a firearm, right? They can support it through other ways. So team merch and stuff like that, which we haven't done any merch in the past couple of years. So trying to do stuff where people can be a part of it, feel like they're a part of it, be a whatever. At some level is important. But, for Walther, they're a German company. Yep. They just have Walther USA as well in Arkansas. But I don't know how difficult it is to go buy any of those guns right there in Germany. I'm not sure that you can. So it's weird, This is weird. Like I have friends all over the world. Like this is crazy to people. You know what I mean? Like, I might have 20,000 rounds of ammo here, and a bunch of NFA items, and it's odd to some and normal to others.
It's normal here.
And normalizing things, like making things less taboo, is like the first step in generational gun ownership and participation, right? Like that's really important. If seeing somebody wearing night vision with an AR is normalized and not taboo and scary, that's going to encourage or hopefully get more people interested in training and down that path. My daughter is 7 and she knows how to clear, check all those guns. Like, she understands how this stuff works. They're all out of her reach. But still, with that being said, I could bring her over here and she could break down any of those guns in front of you guys in a safe way. And so, having children, and that's obviously a whole nother responsibility with gun ownership. And you can't see it. There's a safe right here that you guys can't see. This stuff goes in. It's a lot. And I think that nobody has, like you said, Kurtis, nobody's been like, hey, you can't run that. You have to cover that brand. Like this is in the Constitution. This isn't weed. Right. This isn't like y'all can put alcohol, which kills more people than guns every year, on your car, but I can't You know what I mean? That would just be a crazy concept to think that one is okay over the other. I think all of it should be able to be advertised. Tobacco, bring back the Marlboro cars.
Dude, for real.
You know?
I agree with you on that. Oh,
Yeah. I'm like, hey, if Marlboro comes back, Walter's going to have to, they're going to have to really beg me to not go to Marlboro.
Yeah.
Walter Marlboro car, dude.
That'd be sick.
So yeah, I just think it's interesting. It's worked way better than I thought it would. You know, I didn't know how well I was doing this really for my own mission. Like my own mission was just to create new shooters, new gun owners, help.
Yeah.
You know, help. Oh, I fell, baby. Help be that that point of contact, right? It wasn't for a big bag of cash or opportunity to grow in followers. Like I had a very strong moral compass when it came to this and knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I just hoped that it would allow me to go to a couple drift events a year, you know, with a mild car. That's how it started. Just to be clear, I know we're past that now. But
you know, maintenance mess.
Yeah, dude, checking valve lash every time I go to the racetrack. That's great.
Yep. Isn't it fun?
Yeah. So, you know, I just knew what I wanted to do, and I just kind of sat back and appreciated every step, because like every time something, you know, grows or gets better or gets bigger or somebody new comes in and it wants to invest in this program and what we're doing, like I really, like at this point in my life, like I'm 34, I just sit back and I like take it all in. Like I don't, this shit's just as cool to me as it would be to somebody else. Like I'm blown away that it even exists.
Dude, it's such a cool story, and I hope there are more like it very soon in the future.
Me too.
You know,
agreed. I want to hear about stuff like this from every driver. I want to see every driver in FD make a living. I want to see them not have to use their family's money or their own retirements or their own savings or trusts or sell their house to, you know, whatever avenue they're having to go down right now to keep this dream alive. I want to see everybody win. Everybody. Every last drifter.
I want to see cars sponsored by like Pelican Case and Swiss Watch.
That is another absolutely great company.
Yeah.
That's epic. Dude, there's so many. If I didn't have a gun sponsor, Sony would sponsor my car. I would not sleep until Sony sponsored my car. and I would make it happen.
Yeah.
But there's no way that they would jump onto this.
Right. Yeah.
And that's okay. That's all right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's there for somebody else. Somebody else could do it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's I know we all have like our favorite drinks. Like I live in Kentucky, so Ale 8, it's a ginger ale company.
Okay.
I'm a big ginger ale guy. And Ale 8 is out of Kentucky, and it's a privately owned beverage company that makes a great drink, and they're everywhere here. Everywhere. That's another one I would have, you know what I mean? Like I have the pivots. I got pivots.
What about the idea of doing like local businesses?
Yeah, I've talked with people about this before. You know, that's pulling a page out of the Circle Track book.
Okay.
These Circle Track drivers, and it's something that we don't spend enough time researching and appreciating is what these guys do in dirt track.
Yeah.
These dirt track guys are making a living racing.
Yeah.
They're racing every Saturday, sometimes for 30 grand a race. And they typically don't leave their sector or area of the country.
Yeah, they stay on their own little bubbles, right? Like
they drive, and it's not frowned upon to flex, to you know, swing your shit out there and show up with the baddest semi rig. Like in drifting, it's often frowned upon to do well.
Yeah, there's just a lot of jealousy.
Yeah, there's a lot of jealousy in drifting.
There is, and it's a shame. It's a shame because I see Vaughn or RTR doing good, and I don't, or anybody, even people who are privately funded. Like I look at that and I strive for that. I think it's awesome. I don't get that. But anyways, the dirt track guys, will do they'll do stuff like have a construction company give them a gas card, and that gas card is their sponsorship from the company for their race team, and that covers all of their fuel for their big rig to go to all the races. That's their contribution, and that gets them a little sticker on the car. You know, or they'll have you know, a HVAC company that's, you know, regional. They cover North and South Carolina.
Yep.
And, you know, and they pay 15, 20 grand, you know, for a spot on the car. Instead of thinking like huge picture, where I think a lot of people are looking for that big title deal, that $200,000 deal, you know, nobody's selling anything in drifting for one race.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would be pretty easy to sell a FD round for a quarter panel for 20 grand for one round.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah,
Nobody's
somewhere
doing that.
aspect, like let's say you pick somewhere in Long Beach, and that round
Yep.
you get 20 grand. And then you pick someone in Atlanta here,
Right.
right? There's a
Yep.
ton of industry here in Atlanta now.
I think
So you pick someone in Atlanta for 20 grand. You might have a harder time in the places like Connecticut this year, but there's a lot
Maybe,
of
but maybe not, because that's a place that's slept on. Those people have been waiting for an opportunity to shine.
it's true. Get out on a national scale.
Yeah. Like, dude, if I did FD, that's exactly how I would do it. And I would
Interesting.
sell, there would be one spot on my car that would be it would be like a front fender and a back bumper, where that's what I would be selling. That's
The
that real estate
regional-
on the car.
Yeah, the
And it
regional.
would be an easy place to swap out new partners that isn't going to
Yeah,
take
that's an
delivery.
interesting take.
Dude,
You're really
there's-
thinking outside the box here.
there's so much money out there, so much, and it's there for everybody. Like, it's there. Like, if you, I mean, obviously do your job and
Right.
make it worth it for the company.
And
We're
that's
not
always
trying
been a
to-
challenge too, because there's been enough companies that have been burned by drifters, you know.
Yes, yeah. No, it's a
In
risk.
and out of motorsports in that
No,
aspect.
it's a huge risk. It is a huge risk for those people involved. And when I'm advocating for these things or suggesting these things, that's with the mindset that we are going to go above and beyond to prove the value to these companies, so they want to come back. So that when you roll back through Atlanta in 27, take our money. We want to come back. We want our pit passes. We want our cabana up on the hill that's our companies, and we can bring out our customers or our number one sales guy, have a team building experience at the racetrack. This is super easy to justify for 20 grand.
Mhm.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
dude, you
It's-
need to be selling an experience.
Yeah.
The experience is everything.
Yeah.
It's not always the hard data of how many things did we sell. Did it help? Did it help the sales manager close a deal with a client because you let him and his client come out to Orlando for the day, and he got to show this guy around and have a good time, and at the end of the day they shook hands and locked in a deal he's been working on for months. You know, we don't know the inner workings of what they have going on and how beneficial it could potentially be.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously the residual audio or video and assets that you're going to provide to that company that their marketing team can then use for months after that one event. You're not just selling that weekend, you're giving them assets that will keep them, you know,
Filled with content for a while.
yeah, keep them riding that high for, you know, a couple months, and that's something that they'll talk about all year. And it just, yes, it's all doable. It's
Oh yeah, and yeah, like I said, this is why I wanted to bring you up, because you have these ideas, and we've had these conversations before, and it's been awesome. Like, it's like I said, it's so cool. Like, I'm at the very beginning stage. Like, I did my first year of drifting last year, filmed a couple like videos on it, and just kind of learning that side of it, because for my whole life I've just filmed other people. So
Yeah.
filming yourself is completely different. It's such
Are you
a
talking about like vlogging?
yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so like doing vlogs and stuff like that, and just kind of figuring out how, let's say I wanted to work with someone, how would I go about talking about or including that in what I'm doing, you know?
Call me, dude. I'll help you.
Yeah, so it's like, but it's been a really fun way to learn and talk with people. And I mean, I'm lucky because I've been around long enough that I know a lot of people, and we do a lot of different things, or I do a lot of different things all over the country and whatnot. But even one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing now with the DDMRL stuff is because I ask drivers to do this with my stuff when I give it to them. And a lot of times it doesn't happen, let's be honest. You know, like there's a lot of stuff where I just feel like there's not a lot of follow through when it comes to that. So for me, it's like I want to be an example of like, okay, not only do I cover all of Formula Drift, and it's going to be another series this year, but I'm also going to do my own stuff and cover that for the whole season and show that you can do it even if you have basically no time or limited time, you know? And it's like...
Yeah, and that's relatable, because being relatable in the YouTube stuff is super important. And most people work a 9 to 5 at minimum.
Yep.
They've got, you know, maybe a spouse or a girlfriend that they need to spend time with. You know, that's something that I juggle with my wife, you know, trying to spend time with her.
Yeah.
God
forbid you have a kid.
Yeah. Well, luckily, my kid and my wife go everywhere with me, so it's fine. But,
Yeah.
But, you know, juggling and showing that there's time. You can make time to rent. You can make time to do the thing that you love and are passionate about. I think that's a good look, you know, and it makes sense.
Absolutely.
And I think everything else you do when you're too busy to do your own drifting stuff is also sick, and people would love to see it. You know, I've been fortunate enough to stand right next to you in the media box and film stuff, you know, right by you. And when you're doing the live streams and on your phone and stuff, you know, and I think that stuff's really cool. So showing that stuff, I think, would be really nice.
Yeah, no, we have a lot of fun doing it, and we're gonna do a lot of crazy stuff this year. So I'm excited to announce that. That'll be coming probably next week. We'll make a little announcement on some of that stuff. But
the season's gonna start before you know it.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. There's an event I'm possibly trying to make next month with my car, and it is on jack stands at the moment. So
what's next month?
There's an event in Gingerman.
What? Damn it, dude.
Yeah. It's I forget the organization. There's like a Kalamazoo track too, but
Mid-Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mid-Michigan. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah. Well, this one's not put on by Mid-Michigan. I also do a lot of Mid-Michigan events though. Those are my homies.
Yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, they're awesome. I just did a virtual comp last Friday with those guys. It was my first comp. It was a lot of fun. I got knocked out. I one more time in my battle. To be fair, I don't know. I was just annoyed at myself. The car bogged in the line, so I got gapped off the line, and then I made it a battle like halfway through. I did a perfect lead. The guy zeroed behind me. They one more timed us, and then in the second part of the battle, I when I was transitioning, I tapped him, and he went off course. And then I did a good lead, but I mean, I guess it was my fault.
Is this on the sim?
Yes, this is sim driving.
Dude, I can't even go. I can't even drive the car on a sim.
Dude, it's not for everyone. It is not for everyone, but for me, it worked so good learning to drive. Like, it was a night and day difference once I got the sim, because I had driven two events. I got the sim, night and day difference. But yeah, that's a long story. But I did want to get to. There was actually some news that came out this week. Number one, Simon Olsen released that he's driving James Dean's S15 in Drift Masters.
I saw that.
That was a funny video. That was pretty enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, I had fun editing that. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool. I'm curious on what your guys' thoughts on how he would do over here, because we did see obviously him drive Odie's S14 point whatever the hell that thing is, 0.9.
Yeah.
I think he drives S chassis better than he does at Supra.
Well, I feel like that would be most people in the world, but
right, like I think he's gonna have a really good season.
Yeah, I'm excited for him.
I'm a big Simon Olsen fan of him personally and his driving. He's like one of the nicest people you would ever meet.
Oh yeah.
I don't know James at all, but I know his cars are amazing. And
Well, so just so you know, this is a car that he's won a championship at DMEC at. Like,
but didn't Simon just drive one of these cars at Drift Masters at the end of the year?
He did it at Ireland last year. Mondello.
Yeah.
Made top 8.
Yeah. Yeah, he made top 8. So I mean, and that was on a wet. That was a wet track, I believe, right?
It was like damp, but I mean, he went up. He lost to Peter Vicek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, he went to the 8. And driving a car is pretty good, right? Like,
no, and that was my point. I remember seeing him in that car at Drift Masters and being like, oh, like this just looks like it's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish that the Supra was easier for everybody. It seems awful, except for Frederick. I don't know. He's really good at it. But yeah, I'm just happy to see Simon getting more opportunities and doing more cool stuff. Like,
yeah, he's a good driver that I think it'll be really interesting to see how he does over there, because it was interesting watching him. Well, I think he got 4th overall one year or 3rd overall.
Yeah, that first year with Odie.
With Odie's car, and it was just like out of nowhere. Like no one, like he obviously came over originally in the Supra, and it was like he was like, I think his best year he was like maybe mid pack, and they're like, oh yeah, that's a good job. It's a completely different driver in Odie's cars, and it was like, okay, so this kid can actually drive and like really drive. And obviously last year he had a mixed year with the Supra and stuff, and I just know from a personal experience that car was 1,000 times different than from the first event to the last event. Just from being around.
He's developing it for sure.
Oh yeah, so that car
around and
yeah,
S chassis are kind of an already proven recipe.
Yep.
A lot of guys cut their teeth in that chassis, so it's not wildly surprising to see people do better in an S chassis. That's more than
I miss my S chassis so much.
I basically turned my Toyota into an S chassis, so they're just they work and they work well, and we all know. So I love that Simon stepped back into the Supra and wanted to keep developing it, but I also would have really liked to see another season in an Odie car.
Yeah. So is he still doing FD as well?
Yes, he hasn't said what car he's driving, but yes, he is driving. He is driving both events, all full seasons in both.
Full season.
I'd imagine he's probably still going to be in the Supra because he's got. I feel like that car is like almost, if not right where he wants it to really be a weapon in it.
Yeah.
Well, he was building another car.
So.
But I think it's going to be the Supra though.
Yeah. So there's some.
I'll say too much, dude. I'll spill the beans.
I'll spill the beans.
And I'll be wrong. I'll spill the beans and be wrong. So I'm just not going to say anything. But there was a time when he was going to build it.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was some pretty cool news that came out. FD officially said that they're using the Wally system. Again, I feel everyone pretty much figured it out, but or at least knew that they were doing some kind of system. Now it was pretty
obvious which one they go with.
So now it's public. They're using the Wally system, which is awesome, which makes me really excited for next week's guest. Little teaser. But yeah, no, so that's a cool thing to see. Another so I can't really say publicly what other stuff I was going to say, but I have heard I think my list of drivers that I know aren't coming this year is up to 4 on that list that aren't driving now. So I'm a little sad.
I know. You tell me one, I'll tell you one.
Oh, well, I ain't tell you nothing, dude.
Dude, I'm just kidding. This is what I'm saying.
But yeah, so that is. I am actually a slight bit of concern for me on the driver count for next year. But we'll see. My guess was like 35. I'm kind of starting to lead more towards 32 for next year in terms of drivers.
Hey, but prospect stacked.
Oh yeah,
always stacked.
It's always going to be because there's so many more people trying to get into that series.
Well, there's like a lot of feeder. There's so many feeder series now. There's probably more. There's more feeder series now than there was 10 years ago, right? So like you have a ton of guys coming up. scouting series that are out there giving out licenses.
Yeah, there's a kid from back home in the Northwest. His name's Tyler Mayer.
Yeah.
He's in Prospect this year. I'm a huge fan of his driving. His handbrake has a Quan grip. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I have a signature. Hold on.
Yeah, let's see him. Come on.
I have a signature BMX grip, and his handbrake still uses one of these.
All right, how comfy are they?
That's
My
sick as
bikes
hell.
always need new grips. How comfy are those things?
They're comfy, dude. Send me your address. I'll send you a pair of these. But you got him. You got Matt Shillman.
Yeah.
You
There's a bunch of new
Sean
guys.
Sean Booth, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Prospect this year is going to be like a solid series to watch, and I'm pretty.
You're forgetting the one guy that we're all excited to see, Stoneback.
Sean Booth.
Stoneback. Yeah.
Stoneback.
Oh, Stoneback. Yeah, Jeff Stoneback is back in Prospect.
What is he driving?
I don't think anybody actually has the answer to that. Everyone speculates, but
He was on the list, dude. He was on the
Dude,
list.
I'll call him right now, dude.
I'm hoping he brings an SR back into Prospect for my own.
You could do it. It's
could.
doable. No, and
You could do like a mild SR that's not like one of those. I don't know if you guys remember Briggs running in.
Of course, yeah.
Crazy power SRs that were constantly having problems. If you dial them back just a little bit, you could probably be a driver like Stoneback could be competitive in Prospect with a mild SR20, and that would be sick.
Yeah, dude. I forgot about that. Is it confirmed that he's driving?
He was on the list. That's all I have.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's confirmed he's driving. I think we're all just getting our hopes up.
Because like last year, remember how excited we all were? Like Luke Fink was coming, and
Yeah.
and there was somebody else that we were all excited for. Daigo's been on the list every year, but only came,
Yeah.
I think
He came back. He
did, but his name was on the list like 3 years because COVID screwed it up.
COVID messed up a lot of stuff for those guys.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like those lists, the approved driver list often lets us down when the trailers start rolling in and we don't see the person that we were excited to see. As fans,
Mm.
We know for sure that Booth is coming because
no doubt.
He's car in Florida doing testing,
And he
everything.
put a bumper on it. It makes me so happy.
He made it look pretty sick. He put a whole body kit on it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No,
He made me so happy.
He's one of my favorite drivers. I'm really excited to watch him drive. I would argue that, I know he doesn't have a ton of pro level competition experience, but I would argue you could put him with the best of them in Pro 1, and the dude is just a great driver. Like,
the cars are but here's the thing, right? FD's different. Even at Prospect, you will see some of these guys that you will watch drive amazingly outside of FD. I don't know what it is. Something happens, and like cars break, like people do weird things. Like you will watch sometimes. I'm not saying this is going to happen for him, but you've seen it, Kurtis.
I have for sure, but you got to look at all of it in that package, right? You have Booth, who's been running with LZ. He's done LZ World Tours, all that, and then
he's won that
experience. He's coupled into Odie's Prospect Championship winning car,
which makes yeah, I know it's hard to go against that. But what I'm saying is, like, you got to temper your expectations, especially on rookies, because you really don't know what's going to happen with a lot of these.
Oh, guys. Absolutely.
It's the practice too, dude. You have like no practice.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy for me to show you guys the one clip of me driving at the Drift Mansion, fucking 30 laps in, when I rub the wall, flick it in hard as hell, and it's a banger run. But if you wanted that run in maybe even less, right, 12's tops, you wanted that 8 laps.
Yeah.
I might not be able to deliver that.
I don't know how many laps Prospect is currently getting, right? Because we haven't our team in it for 2 years. But like, that number of laps that you get is low. especially in a place like Atlanta where you have off-track excursions, wrecks, and everything else that just eat up track time. So you're right. It's tough with no practice for those dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope we have a better Atlanta. Like there was like 3 or 4 just like what looked like chassis ending crashes there. Jeez.
Man, that one.
Jax
Which one was Jax?
Jax wasn't as bad as who crashed bad there.
So you had Kelsey. You
I
had
watched
Ferris.
You had Casey Cole.
Yeah.
Casey went in hard with the nose. Yeah.
And I guess
that
Jimenez
was
went
all
in with
last
Kelsey.
year?
Kelsey's was I was on the hill across from the entry when Kelsey's crash happened, and that was probably one of the gnarlier crashes I've seen in FD. Like when it hit, you felt the sound of it hitting in your body. Like that was a hit.
Dude, you know what's crazy is that like in years past, I think there might have been like a 4 or 5 year stretch where we didn't see anybody hit that wall.
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt Field hit it a while ago.
That's what I was referencing with Field and the Corvette. Like that was probably the last real hard hit I remember hitting that wall.
And before that, there was a Pro Spec kid in RX-7 FD that hit it.
That's right. I do remember that. Yep.
I don't even remember that call.
But okay, so this is not really a place for this conversation. But the big complaint was they changed the clip there.
Yeah, it's way better.
And that's why people were saying that's why the crashes were happening.
I think the argument
is way better.
I think the clip created some of the crashes for sure. The movement of the track. Like I remember hearing that conversation and having it with several people, and I'd have to go back and rewatch now. But there's a part of me that thinks maybe that leaded into putting a few more cars in the wall, but also the drivers were making errors that, if you make an error, sometimes you wreck.
Okay, and I'm not a Formula Drift driver here, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. But how annoying is it seeing the chase car cut through the dirt on that inner one?
Yeah.
Over and over again, and when they come back. So moving that clipping point out, I feel like we got to see when things went well, better tandem.
Oh yeah.
But it also did shift the cars back. So there was, potential for going into smoke in a deeper point on that track, which is closer to the wall. Like I see what you're saying too, but I think it was Reese's like the kind of one behind that.
Oh yeah.
And I think it worked. I think it was a positive thing for Atlanta when it comes to tandem. It's smoother. The cars flow through the zone faster when it works. Mm-hmm. But Pro Spec definitely struggled with it more than the Pro 1 guys. But I bet it's the same this year.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they went back on it.
I don't think it's going to change.
Yeah. No.
Part of it. Sometimes, as someone who's had to design different layouts at the same track over and over again, right? Sometimes you just do stuff and like even you drive it and you're like, damn, that's to do. Right? Like that's hard. You're like, that's hard, but like so sometimes it has to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of the challenge. That's what makes you a professional. You got to adapt.
Exactly.
Not me, dude. I want a perfect setup, easy flow, no weird tricks. I just want to glaze through a racetrack, and I know that like some of those tracks and some of the layouts
Give me
over the years.
Increasing radius turns, please.
Yeah, anything but St. Louis. Jeez, dude, if I had to drive St. Louis, might be the main. That's like the main reason why I don't do FD. I think it's just because I don't want to drive that track.
You could, if you wanted to go drive St. Louis for any reason, you could now because Derek Madison.
No, Derek's going to make it good though. He's going to give us.
Well, go drive it then. Derek's brought Pro-Am back to St. Louis, so.
Yeah, I will be in St. Louis if anybody's watching from St. Louis. I'll be at St. Louis Open Drift Day at what's the arena there? Where FD's, what's it called?
Gateway?
Who knows?
Gateway.
I'll be at Gateway March 7th for Drift Day.
Wait, is it called Gateway or is it called like Worldwide Technology Center now?
It's
either way.
One of
where
those.
they do FD. but not where they do FD. I'll be in the parking lot. Meet me in the parking lot, and we'll be testing my car.
There you go.
So if you guys want to come out and get a ride.
Awesome. And yeah, we have hit that 2-hour mark, so I do want to give you a good time to, where can people find you at? And obviously we talked about what you were about for the last 2 hours, but just a quick outro.
Yeah, Caleb Quanbeck on all socials, just my name. So Instagram, YouTube, that's really it. I'll be at Grid Life South Carolina, Grid Life Gingerman, LS Fest West, LS Fest Texas.
Oh yeah.
I'll be at Fuel Fest in Tampa next month.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be around. Yeah, hit us up. And like I said throughout this whole interview, if you are a new gun owner, a new shooter, and you just need some pointers and some direction, you can hit me up.
Absolutely.
Happy to help.
Do it, guys. It's a great hobby to get into as well. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And it is cheaper for the most part. You can get expensive, let's be honest here. But it's cheaper
but it's
than
hard
drifting.
to get drifting expensive.
Oh man, Kurtis, what's going on with you, boss?
Oh, just same old stuff. Still doing construction, still building cars. So,
Yeah.
just hanging out. Started the Ranger tonight. Pretty stoked on it.
There you go.
Oh, dude, speaking of Kurtis, I got to look at your schedule this year for Clutch Kickers because that is on my list. I won't be able to do a full season, but I want to come down to one and hang out.
Oh, yeah. Take a peek at it, dude. Look it over.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Awesome.
I will.
Also, I wanted to say a huge thank you to both of you for coming back on. Well, Kurtis to come back on, and for Caleb for coming on. This was, I think this was one of my favorite conversations that I've had personally, because it's more my alley of stuff, and less about the car stuff, which Kurtis's alley, obviously.
No, it was cool to hear about, dude. That was sick.
I hope everybody learned something. I hope we all have some takeaways.
I'm about to clip like half of this freaking thing and just start posting all of it because people need to hear this stuff, dude. It's awesome.
I wish that we would have talked more about camera stuff just for me and you.
I know, but it's kind of direct for us.
It's just you and I.
I know.
Who are we really talking?
Yeah, you gotta start talking about cameras. I'll be like, okay.
All right, and I'm out.
But
Your shit goes black.
right,
Right.
no, but
it is nice though because I don't get a lot of time to talk with people about cameras and setups and post and how content's being delivered. So maybe
I made a post today. This is my new purchase for this year for a camera.
Dude, those things are sick. I love mine. They're the best.
This is my new camera for 2026 right there.
Hey,
is it that worth it?
Yeah, they're sick.
1,000%. 1,000.
I'm gonna go buy some tomorrow.
Filming, working on the car, filming, driving. They do 3K,
The
plenty.
audio sucks ass though for driving.
Yeah, but
For driving, but if you're doing working on a car and you're talking, audio's great.
I use them a lot for that.
I'm buying them tomorrow. I'm sold.
They're
sick,
worth it. Dude. And they play music too. So if you get bored and you just want to play music, I'm wandering around grocery shopping, music jamming, nobody knows, hanging out.
Dude, I'm sold. You want to hear? I'll tell you this. I haven't told anybody about this yet, but I have a new content series for Instagram for this year. It's called Rapid Fire, and it's an interview series where I've got 2 Stelos in the car, my helmet, the passenger's helmet, with an intercom box that records audio like a driver and co-driver.
Yeah.
And I'm going to interview the people in the ride-along seat.
Oh,
that'd
sick.
be fun.
So mostly people who have never been in drift cars before.
Yeah.
So imagine I have 10 rapid fire questions for you, but we're doing 120 on the straight and ginger. We'll start asking questions.
That'll be great, dude.
So that's in collaboration with Rugged Radios. So Ruggeds came on with
Hell
that. Really thanks to Matt Field, but
Yeah.
Rugged taking care of us with that, and I think Rugged's coming out with a new shooting headset. So I think I would be kind of the best bridge between motorsport comms and firearms. So
Hell yeah.
I am going to try to do more camera stuff and film more stuff. I just had a bunch of camera gear get stolen, $7,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Brand new 70 to 200, 1 week old.
Rough, dude.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's why that's why you gotta get insurance. But
yeah, I know.
all right.
Well, anyways, thanks for having me. I had a great time. I actually felt a lot of times I do these and I feel like I blow it, but I felt good about this one.
No, dude, it was. I just had to let you talk, like honestly, and like there's so many good topics we went over. I'm excited.
Sometimes I blow it.
Yeah, it's all good. But yes, so thank you guys for checking out. If you guys did like it, go check him out. You can always share the stream as well. We will be back as well for next Tuesday, and we have a very special guest I'm excited to bring on regarding the FD stuff that came out today. And then, Tandem's Randoms on Thursdays as well. I'm also going to be driving later tonight as well if people want to come hang out and drive. But until